The George Zimmerman trial in Sanford is expected to be one of the most watched trials this year. One rainy night in February 2012, he was driving to the grocery store. He saw a figure, a person he didn't recognize, and he called police to report a suspicious person. That person was 17-year-old Trayvon Martin, a high school junior from South Florida. He had gone to a convenience store and bought candy and a soft drink. The two came face to face. There was a confrontation. Zimmerman had a gun and he shot Trayvon Martin dead. But it was a very long time before he was arrested and charges filed, and that created a public outrage. People took to the streets across the country protesting that Sanford police had investigated this and not made an arrest. The governor appointed a special prosecutor, and on April 11th, she arrested George Zimmerman and had him charged with second-degree murder.
Here's some of the most important testimony and evidence that may be introduced into this trial. First of all, George Zimmerman's statements. Whether or not he takes the witness stand, it's likely that jurors will hear George Zimmerman's own account of what happened the night of the shooting in his own words. That's because in the immediate aftermath of the shooting, George Zimmerman gave several statements to law enforcement, performed a video reenactment, demonstrating what he says happened that night. It's going to be a major issue at trial to see if prosecutors can highlight inconsistencies in those statements.
The defense is likely to make a big deal about photos that show George Zimmerman's injuries. He says Trayvon was the attacker, that Trayvon punched him in the nose, broke his nose, knocked him down, then got on top of him and hammered his head against a sidewalk. There are photos that show Zimmerman with a bloody nose, taken at the scene, and photos of him with gashes that are bleeding on the back of his head.
Though only two people saw what immediately preceded the fatal confrontation between George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin, there is another witness who could play a crucial role in the case. That's a young woman known as Witness 8, who has been described as Trayvon's girlfriend. She says she was on the phone with him in the moments before the shooting.
He told me that guy was getting real close to him. Next thing I hear, "Why you following me for?" It was like an old man.
Okay.
Say, "What are you doing around here?"
Basically, shortly after that, there was some kind of a sound of struggle and the call cut off.
One of the most dramatic and contentious pieces of evidence is going to be audio. A woman who heard the two fighting outside called 911 and was reporting it to the police department. In the background, as she's talking, you can hear the cries for help from someone. Who that someone is not clear.
And is it a male or female?
It sounds like a male.
And you don't know why?
I don't know why. I think they're yelling help, but I don't know.
Two FBI audio experts tried to analyze the tape, but gave up, saying it was of such poor quality and the length was so short that could not be determined.
Another key piece of evidence in the case will likely be the call that George Zimmerman placed to the non-emergency number reporting Trayvon Martin as a suspicious person. Police investigators poured through that call in an interview with George Zimmerman, line by line, phrase by phrase, and that's something that could happen again if he is to take the witness stand. What did you mean when you called him suspicious? Why did you find him suspicious? Why did you get out of your vehicle? These are all questions that George Zimmerman, if he takes the stand, will have to answer, and if not, that his defense attorneys will have to argue during the trial.
Several witnesses saw portions of the fight. One, Witness 6, says he saw Trayvon on top, George Zimmerman on the ground, and Trayvon hammering down blows as if he were a martial arts fighter.
Trial in the case is expected to take 3 to 6 weeks, including jury selection. George Zimmerman, if convicted as charged, would face up to life in prison.